The time has come for the Whimsicott PvP IV deep dive. Is Whimsicott having a community event or something? No, but its shiny is debuting in Pokemon Go, part of the Lush Jungle event, and Pokemon Go is having a special Spotlight weekend event at parks with boosted Cottonee spawns starting March 26th to March 27th, 10 a.m. local time to 8 p.m. local time. Boosted Cottonee spawns, maybe a boosted shiny rate, it just says boosted spawns and a chance to get the shiny. At any rate, if you ever want to use Whimsicott in Great League PvP, in Pokemon Go, in a cup, in the open meta, you're going to want to know what the best PvP IVs are. And in this video, I will teach you how to charm harder and charm smarter with Whimsicott in Pokemon Go. Now, if you're not too familiar with my PvP IV deep dives here, I will be talking about all the true stats of the Pokemon and breakpoints and stuff like that. So if you're not very familiar with PvP IVs and all that jazz, I highly recommend checking out my PvP IVs simplified video, link up above and in the description. If you ever feel lost in this video and you're like, what is he talking about? Check out that video. It'll definitely set the framework for you. You know, get your feet wet before you dive into the deep end here with these PvP IVs. Also, first time in SwagTips history, I actually have the GamePress article up before the video, so if you want to reference any of this information in a text-based format, link in the description, of course, to my article on GamePress. I basically talk about a lot of numbers here. It's kind of annoying to reference a video to find those specific numbers, but the GamePress article has those numbers, and if I do get new information in the future and I want to update this content, I can't really update the video, but I can update that article. So yeah, link in the description to that. When it comes to Whimsicott's stat weights in PvP, I'd say there's 2, maybe 3 general flavors you can go for as far as stat weights are. The one I'm going to recommend is kind of like a moderate attack weight, which is 121.26 to 121.87 attack. There is also a slight attack weight too though, at about 119.47. Basically, if you appreciate the attack weights, but you definitely want to focus on more bulk, then that could be a good attack weight for you. And there are some attack weights that are even further beyond, the 121.87 that can do some interesting stuff. I just feel like the stuff they can do is just inconsistent enough where I'd prefer to take on, the 121.87 or so attack weight and have more opportunities to have more bulk. Starting out with the 119.47 attack weight, the slight attack weight. This attack weight can give you breakpoints on Medicham, helping you in the 0-0 shield scenario. You already win the 0-0 anyways, but now you can avoid them getting that final ice punch on Whimsicott, making the fight that much more clean. And this is also considering a Medicham that has a 1 fast move energy lead. So even if they swap in and they use 1 counter and you counter swap to Whimsicott, this breakpoint will make it so that they still don't reach that final ice punch, circumstances depending. I mean, the Leg Goblin can mess things up, but few opportunities for the Leg Goblin to mess things up. And yeah, could help you end up with more HP, so you're more likely to reach a charge move on the next thing that comes in after the Medicham. This attack weight also gives you a breakpoint in the mirror matchup against the rank 1 Whimsicott, so Whimsicott with that level of defense and lower, which will be most Whimsicott. There are higher defense weighted Whimsicott out there, but by having this attack weight, you could dominate the mirror matchup as well. And then this breakpoint can also help you do well in the Trevenant matchup, the 1-0 shield scenario. If Trevenant is just throwing Shadow Ball, and it does have that 1 fast move advantage, it's swapped in, now you're counter swapping, then you can beat it just throwing charms at it. You do have to spend 1 shield, but now you just completely beat that match, and now you've got all this energy, so you can Moonblast the next thing in, do some big damage, maybe give them the debuff, which could help you get the game. And I mean, swap advantage too, of course, right? And then similarly, it can help you out against the Shadow Swampert matchup. Same idea, where you just avoid them reaching the Sludge Wave in the 1-0 shield scenario, even if they have a 1 fast move advantage, and even if they do bait you with the Hydro Cannon. So just help clean up that fight. Definitely not the focus of this attack weight, but it's you get all this stuff and more with this attack weight. And 2 really interesting scenarios that also came up with this attack breakpoint too is if you're up against the Shadow Mawile or the Talonflame, for instance, and you have a 2 fast move advantage on them, then against Mawile, Shadow Mawile, if you land the Grass Knot, then you could take it out with charm damage in the 0-0 shield scenario, but you have to already have that energy to reach it and deal that damage to take it out. Won't always happen, but a little bit of a contingency plan if it does come up. And then same idea with Talonflame in the 1-0 shield scenario, where if you have a 2 fast move advantage, you can reach the Moonblast. So you shield the first flame charge, they eat the Moonblast because they're Talonflame. Why would they worry about a Moonblast? But you got that attack breakpoint. And now you can charm them down before they can KO you with Flame Charge, which could be interesting, could help you flip the match, definitely gets you swap advantage. Now, while those two scenarios do sound pretty niche, it's the whole package. It's not just those situations, it's all the situations and all the potential for those matchups. So don't fixate too much on just a couple matchups that you may or may not get, right? And then another nice thing with this attack weight too is that you do have potential to get the next level of attack weight, the moderate attack weight that I'm going to talk about, on Pokemon that have lower defense stats. So if they're thrifting on their PvP IVs, well then you could possibly get the advantages of the moderate attack weight. Now the moderate attack weight that I'm pitching, in the article it starts at 121.26, but when I was reviewing the charts and the numbers afterwards, I feel like 121.87 is a little bit more reasonable. The 121.87 is an attack breakpoint on the rank 1 Alolan Ninetales, potentiating the 2-2 shield scenario against Powdered Snow, and could get you the 1-0 shield scenario against Charm, which could be nice because if you're in a cup that uses Whimsicott, chances are it features fairy type Pokemon, so being able to beat the other charmer on the block, that could be a pretty nice thing. So yeah, and then this attack weight is based on the rank 1 Alolan Ninetales. Chances are your opponent's going to have a lower defense stat Alolan Ninetales, which plays into that lower attack weight, possibly getting that breakpoint. And yeah, there's only 4 higher stat product spreads than the next attack weight, which is 121.26. So that's why I feel like the 121.87 is not too unreasonable. At any rate, with the 121.26 or the 121.87 and below, you could get a breakpoint on Ferrothorn, which gives you 1-0 potential against Mirror Shot, debuffs from Mirror Shot depending, and gives you 2-2 potential against Flash Cannon, which can be nice. Ferrothorn, big deal. It's a cup. Grass type, it's a grass type. Whimsicott, also grass type. Will they be in the same cup? You tell me. With this attack weight, you can also get a breakpoint on Obstagoon, allowing you to clip it from reaching the Gunk Shot in the 0-0 shield situation specifically, even if Obstagoon has a single fast move advantage, which can be nice because if Gunk Shot is their contingency plan, you just took that away from them by having this attack weight. You can also get the 1-0 shield scenario on Vigoroth, helping avoid it reach that final body slam that'll take you out, even if they do have a single fast move advantage once again. And this attack weight is based on the 0-15-10 Vigoroth, which isn't the highest defense weight of Vigoroth, but Vigoroth that do have a higher defense stat than that, which could possibly avoid this breakpoint. They won't have enough HP to carry on the match. They lose too much bulk that way, so I'd say the attack weight here is pretty consistent for that. You can also get a breakpoint on Azumarill, which gives you more 1-1 shield scenario potential, and then it also gives you improved farming scenarios against non-Ice Beam Azumarills. So it's the benefit might not always be there, but if you could take one less play rough before farming down Azumarill, that could be pretty nice. And then also the 1-1 potential, pretty nice too. With this attack weight, you can also get a breakpoint on Shadow Machamp for the 0-0 shield situation. Even if they have a single fast move advantage, they won't be able to reach a Rock Slide. Now, the Rock Slide shouldn't KO you, but it is a ton of damage, and if you can just counter swap this thing and not take that damage, I think you can see the advantage in not taking the damage. You feel? And then finally, the crown gem of this attack weight, we have this crazy Sableye 0-0 shield matchup scenario that I'm just going to have to show you how it works on PvPoke for you to really understand. But basically, Return does 62% damage to Whimsicott, bulk depending on your Whimsicott, attack weight depending on your Whimsicott, more or less about 62% damage. And that would be enough to take out Whimsicott in the straight 0-0 shield situation because of the Shadow Claw damage that adds up on Whimsicott. However, if the Sableye swaps into something, and before you swap out to the Whimsicott, you do at least 12 damage, maybe a little bit more to it before swapping out, then it won't have the opportunity to get enough Shadow Claw damage on your Whimsicott to take out the Whimsicott with the Return. They'll hit you with Return, it'll do a ton of damage, but they won't KO the Whimsicott. And then chances are your Whimsicott will end with enough energy to throw a charge move at the next thing in. So you beat the Sableye, the Pokemon you swapped out of gets a little bit more energy action going on, and you reach a charge move for the next thing after the Sableye. I mean, this is a win-win-win, in my opinion. The Sableye feeling like a sucker. They thought they were going to win that matchup. but with that extra bit of chip damage and the extra damage from the breakpoint, you're just able to do it. It's crazy, but you're just able to do it, man. Poor Sableye. Now there are even higher attack weights, like even further beyond the 121.87, and I think the only one that's kind of worth really thinking about, in my opinion, would be the 122.01 to 122.81 attack weight, which can potentiate the Lickitung 0-0 and 1-1 shield scenario, and could possibly avoid it reaching an extra body slam in the 2-2 shield scenario. The thing is that, like, the bulk versus bulk and, like, you know, analyzing the matchup and stuff, it didn't seem to be all that consistent for the 0-0 and the 1-1. Because, like, I guess it depends on, like, how much body slam damage you're taking, so it comes down to your bulk versus their attack weight, with you also trying to get this higher attack weight. And then also to add to that, like, the ability to get an attack weight and good bulk while meeting 122.81, which is the highest defense I'd reasonably expect a Lickitung to have, it can be a little bit untenable and could cause you some consistency issues in other matchups. So I think if you do get a very high attack weight Whimsicott potential candidate that has like 122.81 attack, you know, I'd star it, you know, keep it in my inventory just in case. Like, I really want to lay into a Lickitung in some specific format. But I don't think that it'd be a very good, like, bread and butter kind of Whimsicott in my impression. So with the attack weights out of the way, what about that defense stat? And the best defense stat I found was the 132.25 defense weight. This can give you a defense breakpoint on a Hatch IV, so a more attack weighted Charm Alola Ninetales, making your Charm v Charm matchups against Alola Ninetales that much more powerful and consistent. Another interesting thing with this level of attack weight on Alola Ninetales too is that it is useful for the Deoxys Defense Form matchup. It can get a match flipping breakpoint on Deoxys Defense Form with that attack weight. So even if people can trade to get lower attack weights on their Alola Ninetales, there still is like a meta incentive to have that higher attack weight. The only reason why I know about this is because I noticed it in my Deoxys Defense Form PvP IV deep dive. Link above and description if you want to check that one out. I don't know if I'll do an Alola Ninetales PvP IV deep dive anytime soon, but hey, Deoxys Defense Form Breakpoint, it's going to be with that Hatch IV, right? A lower defense weight too that this is also important for is at 131.65. You can potentiate the 0-0 shield scenario against a Hatch weight Air Slash Mandibuzz. So Mandibuzz matchup already feels kind of neutral if it's Air Slash because it's super effective versus super effective. They typically have the upper hand because they have more bulk and they've got, you know, faster charge moves. But with that defense weight, the Air Slash damage does less enough damage to you where you can more often flip that specific matchup. Now there is an even higher, like an even further beyond defense weight at 134 plus defense, and that's specific to like the rank 1 Meganium 0-0 shield situation. So if you can get that level of defense, then the Meganium matchup just becomes complete butter. Even without the attack breakpoint on Meganium, you can just obliterate Meganium with this defense weight because, you know, its Vine Whip damage is doing 1 less damage. Of course, this is expecting the Meganium to be a low attack stat Meganium, so it is a little bit dicey. And Meganium has been a bit out of the meta lately. Even in cup formats, I don't see a whole lot of Meganium when grass types are allowed. So I don't think this level of defense is a super high priority. I'd just focus on the 132.25 and then stuffing in as much HP as you possibly can. But if you do get 134 plus, you know, I'd star it or maybe build it if it ends up being your best Whimsicott option. And here I have a table showcasing the 144 different IV spreads that can meet the 121.87 attack stat and the 132.25 defense stat. This is linked in the article along with 4 other stat-specific PvP IV tables. Usually I put it in the description, but it does get to be a bit cumbersome there, and I already have the article up, so if this is like a super big hassle for you guys, let me know in the comments, but the tables have a table section in the article. Space economy, right? At any rate, these tables are customizable, so if you don't agree with, you know, this defense weight or this attack weight, or maybe there's a specific HP check that you think is important, you can manipulate that down here. You can change these stats and make your own personal, you know, curated PvP IV table. Like maybe it's clear weather all weekend and all you can get is clear weather Whimsicott or cloudy weather Whimsicott. You can alter that here too with the IV floor. You'll see that there's like a weather boost option, so it does limit the amount of spreads. I think there's only like 25 spreads now. Oh god. But yeah, so if you do want to customize the table that way, the options are down here. All of it, of course, linked in the article. So that's all I gotta say about Whimsicott's PvP IVs. If you got any questions on this content, of course, comment below, let me know what's up, and I'll be happy to help you out. And if you enjoyed this kind of content, you want to see more like it, well, make sure to subscribe to SwagTips. SwagTips. I'd also like to give a special shout out to these Patreon supporters. If you want to support Swagman on Patreon, link in the description. I really do like this blue color on Whimsicott here. The next Pokemon I'm working on for a PvP IV Deep Dive also happens to be blue. Can you guess who that Pokemon might be?